Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Drew back again with another video for all you soccer fans out there. Finally, it's been almost 2 weeks, I think, since I recorded last. I've been kind of dead on this channel. Life right now, the last 2 weeks has been absolutely insane, with the holidays and just, working so much, kind of stressed out. But now I'm finally back in a good mental place right now. I'm finally good at working normal hours. So now I have time to record some video for you guys. And trust me, I've missed recording. I've missed talking to you guys and talking about soccer because there has been so much news going around these last 2 weeks, and I'm just like, damn it, I'm missing all these videos, but doesn't matter. Your boy Drew is back. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed yet, because today we're going to talk about the Concacaf Champions League draws that our MLS teams have gotten, 2 days ago. A little late, but I'm here. Without further ado, let's just get started. Okay, so like I said in the intro, I'm going to be talking about the MLS teams because this channel is primarily an American soccer type channel, but I am going to talk about the other teams in this bracket because, it's CONCACAF and I want CONCACAF as well to grow more around the world and get better respect as a whole. I think a bunch of these leagues here deserve more credit and more respect than they get today. So, stick around. Let's start off first, of course, with Atlanta United up against Motagua from Honduras. I don't know if I said that right, and if I did, good. If I didn't, I'm sorry, my Honduran fans out there. Atlanta United against the Honduras team. This, right off the bat, I'm sure a lot of American soccer fans or MLS fans out there are going to be like, oh, good, Atlanta United is going to get past this team, and then Club America is going to get past their Guatemalan team, and then we'll have a cracker of a quarterfinal matchup between Club America and Atlanta United. And me as a neutral with these two teams, I would love to see that. I would love to see Joseph Martinez go up against players from a team like Club America, one of the biggest teams in MLS, actually the most successful team in Concacaf Champions history with 7 wins in this tournament. I would love to see that, but I'm not gonna doubt any single team here in this bracket, especially the ones that are coming up against MLS teams. I feel teams like outside of America and outside of Mexico, I feel like these teams in these smaller leagues deserve more respect. Like I said before, these teams really are a little underrated. I feel like these teams are better teams than we anticipate them to be. I feel like last season in the Concacaf Champions League, I believe an MLS team lost to a team from like what was it, Guatemala or something like that. They lost to a small team from Guatemala, and we're like, what the hell? Why are these MLS teams losing to these small teams? And the key is that yes, MLS and yes, Liga MX are growing as leagues, and they keep growing every year, but also some of these leagues around the world are also growing and also producing younger, better talent and producing better teams kind of under the radar. So once we meet up with them here in this big tournament when it involves all of these leagues, we finally get to see the progress that they're making under the radar, behind our backs, and we're not paying attention. And I think that's a really fantastic thing. I would love to see teams from Costa Rica, Jamaica, Guatemala, Honduras, all these other CONCACAF teams. I would love to see these teams from these leagues get better because in general, this would make this tournament so much more better to watch, and so much more anticipated. So with that being said, Atlanta United going up against this team from Honduras. They did win, I believe, this team, Motagua. I believe they did win the Apertura, finishing in first place there in the Honduran League. But I have to go ahead and side with my MLS team right here and say that I really truly believe if Atlanta United does not underestimate this team and really go at them in both these legs with full force and good squads and a good lineup, I think that they will be able to get past this team and possibly meet up with Club America in the next round. By the way, we're going to talk about these games not too much in depth. If you want to see more of an in-depth analysis on each of these games, then you're going to have to subscribe and come back when these games actually start. I think they start on February 18th, which is almost close to my birthday, by the way. So it's going to be a great birthday gift to see this tournament kick off near my birthday. So make sure you guys are subscribed so you guys can come back so you guys know when I post a video of a more in-depth analysis of each game in this tournament. Each game that has MLS teams, of course. Speaking of MLS teams again, let's go ahead and talk about LAFC making their debut on this tournament up against Club Leon. This LAFC, the only MLS team so far to meet up with a Mexican team in the round of 16. And I think this is going to be a terrific match and a terrific test to see how LAFC can deal with this, this really good Mexican side. Club Leon, of course, winning the Apertura last season in Liga MX. So, finishing top of the table there, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. LAFC, of course, running away with the Supporter Shield, having a record-breaking season. It was a shame for LAFC fans, all over that they were not able to win an MLS Cup and finish the season really strong. But I don't think that takes away anything from how good this team can be and how great of an attacking line this team has with Carlos Vela leading the line. It's going to be really good to see Carlos Vela back in Mexico against these Mexican sides. So if I had to make a prediction real quick right now this early, with the form LAFC is in and with the form Club Leon was last season, I would have to go ahead and say that I actually don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and side with Club Leon. Don't hate me, MLS fans out there. I know, big MLS channel here. I talk about a lot of MLS, but I also know when we are not good enough. And right now, I still don't think we're on par with Liga MX teams in this competition so far. But that doesn't mean I don't have any hope. I do have hope that we could get by it. And I think LAFC does have a good chance, but they're going to have to fire on all cylinders to get past a good Mexican team like Club Leon. Another team making their debut in this tournament is, of course, New York City FC, of course, winning the Eastern Conference at the top of the table. They're going to facing San Carlos from Costa Rica. I don't know too much about this team, but I do know quite a bit about NYCFC, and I think that this team will be able to get past this Costa Rican side. I know what I've said before earlier in this video that all these teams should not be taken lightly, and that's true. But I think the NYCFC, such a freaking tongue twister. I think this team from New York City will be able to have enough to get past San Carlos from Costa Rica. And then if they do, let's see who they're going to face against. So I'm going to just look at the bracket real quick. They'll probably be facing Tigres, and that's probably one to go out of this tournament in the quarterfinals against Tigres. Granted that Tigres gets past, Alianza from El Salvador. Up next, let's talk about the MLS Cup winners this past season. That being, of course, Seattle Sounders up against Olimpia from Honduras. I think Olimpia is the more successful and most well-known team, I believe, from Honduras. And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but that's just from what I've seen so far. I think it's either Olimpia or Motagua, who are the top two teams right now in Honduras, at least last season, But they're going to face our biggest MLS team, or one of the biggest MLS teams, Seattle Sounders, the MLS Cup winners. I think Seattle Sounders, starting the season off really, really good and finishing it even better. I think, again, they won the MLS Cup against all odds. People thought it was going to be either Atlanta United or LAFC who was going to go ahead and win this tournament. But, of course, Seattle Sounders show that, the old boys, the old school champions of MLS are still got it. They're still able to win tournaments, and they really totally dismantled LAFC on the way to the MLS Cup final, and I was actually very, very surprised. So I think Seattle Sounders with players like, Jordan Morris, who was that? Nicolas Lodero, I think players like that are going to be enough to have enough skill, at least, to get past a team from Olimpia. Granted, Olimpia is one of the better teams from Honduras, but I think Seattle Sounders, hopefully they still have enough momentum going with them from the MLS Cup win, which is going to be very hard because these tournaments start before our season starts, so it's going to be really hard to get the teams, ready and match fit and hopefully in form without playing any games. Hopefully fit enough and ready enough to defeat this team from Honduras. But I think that they will, in fact, be able to do it. And then after that, they could go ahead and face a team like Montreal Impact in the quarterfinals, because the last team we got to talk about is, of course, Montreal Impact, who is up against Saprissa from Costa Rica. Saprissa, I believe, is also a pretty popular, well-known, and pretty one of the best teams, from what I know, from Costa Rica. I feel like they've been in this tournament a couple times. If I'm wrong, you guys can yell at me down below. I don't really care. But Montreal Impact, of course, winning the Canadian Cup or Championship. I feel like a lot of people don't really care about it if you're not in Canada, but that's fine with me. I support it either way. I'm going to come out and say it. I know I might get some hate from it. I know I have a lot of Canadian fans out there. But I'm going to go ahead and say that Montreal Impact, I think, is the weakest team we have from MLS representing the league. Of course, Montreal Impact finishing, 9th place in the Eastern Conference. I think that was, with a negative 13 goal difference. I think despite all that, they have a new manager and, coming in with them, Thierry Henry. Hopefully, he's able to change his team around and make him have a better performance in the league and also in the Concacaf Champions League. Montreal Impact did have some success in this tournament, getting as far, I believe, as the finals in recent years. So that's always good for them. Teams sometimes perform differently in this tournament than they do in the league. So that's something to also take into account if you're an Impact fan. But I'm going to go ahead and say that Montreal Impact will, in fact, get past Saprissa. And if they don't, I kind of knew it. Anyway, guys, it feels so good to start recording again. It feels so good to talk about soccer with you guys again. When I don't talk about soccer on here, I don't talk about it at all because I don't have anybody in my day-to-day life who wants to talk about it. So coming here, talking about this shit with you guys really, really makes me super happy, than I ever thought I could be. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure you guys to subscribe. Be sure you hit that like button down below. And let me know your thoughts on any of these matchups you see here. If you're just a Mexican fan, if you're a Honduras fan, doesn't matter. I want to hear your takes on this tournament, how your team is going to fare against the team that they are paired up against. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for kicking it with me, and I'll see you next time. Peace.